Joining us now is the former Chief Minister of Maharashtra, Mr. Prithviraj Chavan. Thank you so much for speaking to NDTV. My first question to you, Mr. Chavan, what do you have to say about the talk of political instability in Maharashtra in the middle of these very testing COVID times, particularly for that state?
Somebody was trying to create instability by using the office of the Honorable Governor. See, if you look at the numbers, we have a clear majority. We have about 170 members in a house of 288. The three parties together, the Shiv Sena, the NCP and the Congress. There is no way that BJP can defeat us on the floor. But BJP is so desperate to form the government, what they did in Madhya Pradesh, what they did in Karnataka, they want to repeat in Maharashtra. So if they cannot do on the strength of numbers, there is a tendency to use the office of the Honorable Governor. There have been lots of going on, people coming and going, visiting the Honorable Governor. And particularly a couple of days back, a senior leader of BJP, a former Chief Minister, Mr. Narayan Rane, called on the Governor and specifically came out and said that I want the Governor to dissolve the Maharashtra Assembly and call for presidential. This was a statement by a BJP leader. But I'm happy that yesterday, Shri Devendra Fadnavis, the former Chief Minister of Maharashtra, current leader of opposition, had clarified saying that BJP is not interested in toppling the government. They cannot topple it based on the numbers in the House, but they could definitely topple it if they misuse the office of the Honorable Governor, the Home Ministry, which controls the office of the Governor. If they play some tricks like they did in Madhya Pradesh and earlier in Karnataka, then it is possible. So that's why speculation was there. There are a lot of people coming and going and making statements. But that is now cleared, and I clearly think BJP definitely got a feedback that any attempt to destabilize an elected government in Maharashtra would be counterproductive, and that's why they backed off for the time being. But we had to be on the alert. Another thing, there is a rumor being spread that there is a discord in the three-party alliance. Please understand that the whole reason why three parties came together was to stop BJP from coming back to power again.
Mr. Chavan.
Seeing the Devendra Fadnavis rule and the rule of his friends in the government, the corruption, the level of corruption that went on, the government's complete failure to handle calamities like the floods in western Maharashtra, people were fed up. The number of suicides by the farmers, we have discussed that so many times. Industrial leadership of Maharashtra was being lost. Not a single major infrastructure project got completed in Maharashtra. And people had enough of BJP, although the numbers came down, so they could not form the government of their own.
Okay.
That's why an opportunity was given to other parties.
Okay, Mr. Chavan, there is a reason why I asked this question, Mr. Chavan, because what lends credence to this perhaps is statements by Rahul Gandhi, who does not want to be seen as part of the government, or he in fact uses the words that we are supporting the government. How do you respond to this?
No, I think his statement was completely twisted out of context. If you read the entire text, I have it and I have read it many times, the choice of words supporting perhaps could be questioned because you are either part of the government or you're supporting the government from outside. We are definitely a part of the government. But what he tried to say was, if I want to implement my manifesto or what Congress party wants to do, then it's not possible in a coalition government unless all parties come together and ultimate decision is by the Chief Minister. So it is a government of Chief Minister Thackeray, just like the government in Delhi is that of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. It is not a government of Mr. Prakash Singh Badal or Ram Vilas Paswan. They are parties in the government, but they cannot decide. Only Mr. Modi decides. Therefore, his point was that yes, we are a part of the government, and there is not even a hint that we are trying to get away from responsibility and all that thing. That was completely twisted out of context. If you read the whole statement, it made it very clear. And I'll give you one example if you give me a minute.
Sure.
The Nyaya scheme was a very favorite scheme of the Congress party. We wanted to implement We had it in the Lok Sabha manifesto, but we did not win the Lok Sabha election. We could not do it. Now, we naturally would like any state government which has the financial capacity to do it. Chhattisgarh government has done it. I would like Maharashtra government to do it also, but it will be put on the table, discussed in the cabinet, and ultimately Chief Minister will have to reconcile the differences and come to unanimity and implement decisions like that. In fighting Corona also, decisions are taken jointly, and therefore there is no discord whatsoever.
No. You're saying that there is no disquiet or there is no discomfort in the alliance. That's very happy to hear. But, this is a state which is battling coronavirus. In fact, the maximum number of cases are being reported from Maharashtra. Do you think a political controversy like this was the last thing that was required in Maharashtra?
Well, absolutely something could have been done better, but this is not the time for finger pointing. Number one, the WHO announced the corona as a global pandemic on 11th of March. Central government imposed lockdown on 25th of March. What did we do for 14 days? Mumbai International Airport, which received 16,000 international passengers every day. Passengers came, they were cursorily inspected, temperature was taken, their hands were stamped, undertaking was signed, and they were let go home. 2.5 lakh passengers came during that time. Why did the central government not lock Mumbai Airport? This was one of the major reasons why people who carried disease from other countries have spread it in Maharashtra. Secondly, localities like Dharavi, no reasonable social distancing is possible there. So Maharashtra government is doing what it can do. The highest number of testing is being done in Maharashtra. We have additional beds being ordered now. So we are looking after people who are sick. But it is a humongous challenge. But I will not accept that Maharashtra government was short, was wanting in this efforts and so. Actually, I blame the central government for not locking Mumbai Airport. Entirely decision of the central government.
No, but Mr. Chauhan, that exactly is the problem. There is a bit of a state versus centre fight which is presently on, where both seem to be accusing one another. A case in point is the railway minister, who has constantly maintained that Maharashtra has asked for a lot of trains, but not running as many trains as required, not providing as many migrant labourers for those trains to run. Why do you think there is this state versus centre politics which has broken out, smack in the middle of a crisis?
No, I think it's very unfortunate. The handling of the railway ministry leaves lot to be desired. Never in my experience, since I have been grown up, have I seen a railway which is leaving a station and destined to go to another station reaches entirely a third station. I mean, it's a shocking thing. What kind of a administration is there in the railways? After all, railways are responsible for movement of people. Railways should have taken the ownership. Central government should have taken the ownership and allowed migrants to be taken from Mumbai. Of course, there was issue about permission of states. That could have been coordinated by central. Maharashtra government could not coordinate. I think a shameful failure of the central government and particularly Minister of Railways to move migrants out of.
You call it, Mr. Chauhan. Mr. Chauhan, you call it shameful failure of the central government, but then I hope you realize, and I want to know from you. See, who is going to manage this migrant crisis? Is everything the responsibility of the centre, or will states also be accountable with law and order in their purview? Why should states not be taking the responsibility also for the migrants? It's almost appeared as if you've passed this responsibility of the blame on to the centre.
No, I don't think equally. Of course, it is very unfortunate and we can't shirk away the responsibility. Law and order is our responsibility.
Correct.
But, for example, if you had let the railways run regularly, what is this nonsense? 10 trains will be left, 25, the state government asked for 25, 15 trains are given. I mean, as if you're beggars. Then why couldn't railways restart railways in full steam? I mean, if they could not do this, they could say, okay, we'll start 80% of the trains. Regular timetable should have been there. When haggling over money, we'll give 85%, you give 15%. What is this? Look at what other countries are doing. I think entirely the fault, the leadership by Prime Minister Modi and the Railway Ministry should have taken the states on board. See, take for example Karnataka state. The builders there said, don't let the migrants go home because our building projects cannot restart. And the Karnataka government does what? It stops railways completely. This is where the national leadership has failed. You cannot be so inhuman. Look at the pictures that are coming out now. I mean, as a country, we should hold our head in shame. I mean, this is not the time for finger pointing, but at least let us now improve the situation. And I think Railway Ministry has to be held responsible. They are the one who run railways.
All right. Mr. Prithviraj Chavan, thank you so much and appreciate you for speaking to us right here on NDTV.